There we go.
Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Begin.
In the city of Philly, where the birds take flight, Eagle swag on the rise each and every night. Tone and Marcus got the scoop ready to ignite. From the lanes of South Street to the Broad Street lights, dashing like a running back, hitting every play. Fly guys in the zone, never led astray. Talking touchdowns, talking game day. Huddle around the mic, hear what they gotta say. I like an eagle soaring in the sky. Tone and Marcus always standing by, bringing their heat, call it do or die. Philly squad, hear the battle cry. Fly like an eagle soaring in the sky. Tone and Marcus always standing by, bringing their heat, call it do or die. Philly squad, hear the battle cry.
What it do, Tone? We back again, brother. Back again. I got no audio.
Again. All right, let's try this again.
It's been one of the mornings.
Definitely one of those mornings, man. Little technical difficulties, but the grind don't stop. The vibes don't stop. The vibes always high. Y'all know the energy. You feel me? Make sure y'all smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed. You're tuned into the Bald Eagles podcast. He's Marcus Thomas. I'm Tone. This show's the second. You know, we got some things to get into. And you know what's funny? I normally prepare. I'm a note taker, right? I'm a preparer. I'm a note taker. I always have, I always kind of have a run-up show. Let's put it that way, right? And, today I'm like, you know what? I don't think notes are going to do me any good.
Nah.
I don't think any sort of, I'm not saying I don't prepare for a show, but I don't think any notes, any trends, anything is going to do me any good today.
I'm to the point, but I've always been like this. One of my mottos is it's going to play out one way or the other. So the only thing you can hope for is that we are more prepared than the last time, and we are more prepared than they are. Because the prospect of us just being better does not exist anymore. So you gotta dot your I's and cross your T's every play. We gotta win that battle every play. And then at the end of the game, hopefully we have won more battles than they did so we can win that particular war. So we all know what the issue is.
Right.
We all know the passing needs to get better. We know Jalen can pass the ball better. We've seen him throw the deep balls. We've seen him throw absolute dimes at some point. Just go and get a highlight. Go on YouTube and search Jalen Hurts back shoulder throws. He knows how to put the ball at the right place. He knows how to get in trouble. He knows how to do everything, including being a Super Bowl MVP.
Correct.
But for some reason, it's just not manifesting right now. We already know what our defensive issues are. We know what the warts is. CB2 is going to be a problem until somebody gets in there that proves it's not. And then I know Jalen Carter's back. Nakobe Dean is back. I want to see what they're going to play like. It's great having them back. How do they play? Same thing with Cam Jurgens and Landon Dickerson. Landon Dickerson back is what Landon Dickerson we getting, though.
Yeah, that's the thing,
the most
right?
important part, in my opinion. Landon Dickerson. He's the key.
Because we talk about the passing game a lot, right? We talk about it, and if you ask me, the past couple weeks, I don't think the passing game has entirely been the issue. The issue has been their inability to sustain drives with the running game and be dominant with the running game, like they're used to being. They've usually been a team that can just lean on you as the game progresses, and then eventually you have no choice but to submit and tap out.
Yeah.
But when you're missing that key ingredient of the gumbo, when you're missing that key facet of the Eagles' offense, it doesn't operate at the same frequency or at the same at the same level. This Eagles team, for as long as we can remember, I'm willing to argue, even back when the Eagles had their Super Bowl season in 2017, 2018, they were a run-first team. People forget that, though, because Carson Wentz, had the season he had, and Nick Foles obviously took over the final stretch of the season. But that Eagles team was led by their running game.
Absolutely. And people forget Carson Wentz was a damn good running quarterback.
That part, too.
To be as big as he was, Carson Wentz could move.
Yeah, Carson Wentz was playing at a very high level. He was throwing the ball well. Remember, also, as a matter of fact, that season, the Eagles didn't have a 1,000-yard receiver.
Nope.
I think Alshon Jeffrey had like 800 yards, 700 yards, something like that. And everybody else was below that. I think Zach Ertz may probably hit 1,000 yards that year. Let me double check this. The 2017 regular season. Let's see. No, Zach Ertz had 824 yards that year.
Yeah. It was even. It was very balanced.
Yeah. And granted, Carson Wentz got hurt. He had through 13 games of the season, he had 3,296 passing yards. He was averaging 250 a game, so he was throwing the ball at a high level, 33 passing touchdowns, 7 interceptions. Yep. He was very efficient. But they were led by their running game, in my opinion, that year.
Absolutely.
That season, they had over 2,100. They had over 2,100 yards rushing as a team. LeGarrette Blount had 766, averaging over 4 yards a carry.
Yep. Wasn't that the Ajayi year too? We got Ajayi late.
We traded for Ajayi, and he played 7 games in the regular season.
with his ugly knees.
He had 408 rushing yards on 70 carries.
Yeah.
He was averaging close to 6 yards an attempt. Corey Clement had 74 carries, 321 rushing yards. He was averaging over 4 yards. Carson Wentz was averaging almost 5 yards a rush attempt with 64 carries, 299.
I would argue that Corey Clement, I would argue that he could have been the MVP of that Super Bowl.
Corey Clement actually led the team in rushing touchdowns that year too.
Yep.
But in the playoffs, Corey Clement, he went off. I think Corey Clement in the Super Bowl, Corey had almost 100 yards receiving, right? And he had a big touchdown. He had a huge touchdown go ahead.
Yes, he did.
In the Super Bowl.
Great catch.
Great catch. So the bottom line is, right, this Eagles team, since the return to relevance, so to speak, they've been a run-first team. That's not exclusive to Jalen Hurts, no matter how many narratives people want to spin.
Correct.
That's been who they've been since 2017, since they won the first Super Bowl up until this point.
Even with Miles Sanders, even that year, Miles Sanders, man, and we've talked about this before. Miles Sanders should have been the top 3 in the league in rushing, but we didn't run him like that. We ran our running backs so we could say we ran the ball. It was almost like obligatory that we handed the ball off. But if they would have, because remember I did that stat where I took who was the leader in rushing that year
in 2022
from the Raiders.
Oh, you talking about Josh Jacobs?
Josh Jacobs. I took the attempts, the difference in attempts between Josh Jacobs and Miles Sanders, and then I multiplied whatever that difference was, multiplied by Miles Sanders' yards per carry. Meaning that if Jacobs and Sanders would have had equal carries, Sanders would have had more yards. So mathematically, he was on pace to be there. We just didn't feed him like that.
Right.
We did not feed our running back. DeAndre Swift was another wasted effort because DeAndre Swift is good, but we didn't use him the right way. It was like obligatory. Let's give him the ball a couple times. We got to run the ball just to do this play action. We didn't have no real
intention.
Yeah, and it just died.
And even this season, I'm seeing a lack of intention.
The lack of intention is because we can't execute
that part. And this team has been predicated on their run game. When your offensive line, again, the passing game, I think the past couple games, the passing games from a production standpoint, from a yardage standpoint, it's not lacking. It's not lacking.
Right.
The running game is the problem. We're missing our jab. You know what I mean? Right now, it's all power punches. We're missing our jab here.
Well,
And
I mean, well, yes. When you're referring to the running game, absolutely. Because think about this: as bad as everybody says we are playing right now, you realize Jalen Hurts has had 3 games, I think 2 games, where at the half he only had like maybe 1 or 2 incomplete passes. That's happened
yeah,
twice. I know the one game he only had 1 incomplete, and I think the other one I think
it
was
was it
like
was it,
14
it
or
was the Dallas
16 or something
game.
like that.
It was the Dallas game. It was the Broncos game, and it
Yeah,
was the Giants game.
the Giants game. So he's been efficient. So the passing game has not been as bad as people want to make it out to
He ha-
be. And then when you look
he
at
hasn't
everybody
he
else,
hasn't
then when
turned
you
the
look at
ball over.
Josh Allen, you look at Justin, you look at Aaron Rodgers, Baker
Mhm,
Mayfield, you name the other quarterback. It doesn't matter. Dak Prescott, name the other
mhm.
quarterback. Everybody has had bad throws. Dak Prescott missed CD Lamb that would have sealed the game for Dallas here in Philly. So, and I'm saying that not as an excuse, but as a
Mhm.
matter of fact, that all the quarterbacks everywhere in between are missing throws or throwing picks at the wrong time. People trotting out here that Baker Mayfield is playing at the MVP level. Yeah, and he also threw a pick to lose the game against us. So everybody's getting a turn. Jalen's woes and his warts are not that bad. He's not throwing the ball. He's not turning the ball over. He was bound to throw a pick.
Yeah,
And when
that's the law of averages.
there's law of averages. And when you think about the play that actually was the interception, is the play that we've been running all year with success. The only difference was the man named AJ Brown was not at that spot at that particular time.
And Jalen Hurts threw probably one of his worst balls
Worst
of the game.
balls. It should have been out. If that ball is between the sideline and Jahan Dotson, he either catches it with a toe drag or it's incomplete.
Simple as that.
And on to the next play, and we scored 3 of 7.
Yeah,
So it's not as
Jalen
bad as
Hurts.
people think. Stop feeding into what they say on the radio because it's not that bad.
Yeah,
So
he has 3 games. Jalen Hurts, that is. He has, through 6 games played, he has 3 games of a passer rating of 100.8 or more. He has 5 games of a passer rating, 5 games of a passer rating with 94.2 or more. So he hasn't been a bad quarterback this season.
no,
He hasn't. He's protected the football. He's been efficient. Where the passing numbers explosive the first couple weeks? Not necessarily. It wasn't necessarily explosive against Tampa Bay as well, but he started off hot in that game. Second half, things got cold.
got
But,
cold.
but he has 3 games on the season of 226 passing yards or more. And he has 3 games of 152 passing yards or less. So I don't think he's been awful passing the ball. It's misleading.
Yeah, it's just
And
spots.
it's
It's just
spots.
spots, and it when it happens, it just looks bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, we
And
make more of it than it should be, but the optics of it just aren't good.
yeah. And again, I'm seeing our guy Michael McLean here. He's saying it's Hurts decision making. When was Hurts decision making a question? With the Giants up into the Giants game? Like it's just we allow these narratives to take over our emotions. And again, the passing game was wacky the first handful of weeks. Past couple weeks, it hasn't really been the biggest issue. I think execution in the running game in particular, poor offensive line play has been the problem. But I haven't had a problem with Jalen Hurts' decision making. He has 2 turnovers on the season, one being a fumble and one being an interception. And the fumble wasn't even a bad decision.
No.
The offensive lineman misses block. I think that was when Matt Pryor got cooked by Jerry Verse.
Yep,
But
it's either Matt Pryor or Toth. That's where the pressure's coming from.
yeah, so I don't think Jalen Hurts' decision making has been the biggest issue. I think what happened in the Giants game is being a tick overblown. Again, you can't throw that interception, and you did miss Devontae Smith. Those things happen in a football game. The only difference is they lost.
Yeah, Chris, I would Chris 3K says, disagree a little, coach. Not so much Jalen struggling. It's the talent around the offense and the fact that it's 30th. That's a problem. The reason why it's a problem is our center and our guard are having a hard time blocking because of injury. And like I said the other night, we still have an issue with our tight ends blocking efficiently.
Mhm.
So when you put all those things together, I don't necessarily see is Jalen struggling.
And also, when you're constantly having a tale of two halves as a team,
Yeah.
not at the quarterback position, as a team. That's why I don't look at Jalen Hurts funny, because it'd be different if everybody was on point except for him. It's not the case. It's been a tale of two halves for everybody. So with Ty Baby, right? Game flow has been strange. You know, they start off cooking, and all of a sudden, they just the entire team turns into a pumpkin. So it's hard for me to even really predict what's going to happen today when it comes to the Eagles and the Vikings game. The Eagles are on the road. They're in Minnesota. The game's at 1 p.m. So we have a couple hours. We got a few hours till the game starts. And this is going to be, I don't want to say a homecoming, but this is going to be a reunion.
Yeah.
This is going to be a very fascinating reunion. Jalen Hurts versus Carson Wentz. As we all remember, Carson Wentz, former Eagles quarterback, former franchise quarterback. The Eagles decided to move on from Carson Wentz, but even prior to that, they drafted Jalen Hurts in the 2020 NFL draft to be Carson Wentz's backup. That was the intention overall, because they wanted to be cost effective at that position. That was a season where a lot of backups were getting a lot of money, and the Eagles were kind of cap strapped. So they figured they'd go for a high value backup, a young guy that can develop and see where it goes. I don't think Jalen Hurts was drafted to
be the starter.
I don't think they drafted him with the intention of him taking over for Carson Wentz, but things played out how it played out, and Jalen Hurts took advantage of the opportunities that was given to him.
Yeah.
So,
there was too many players that said that. I think Devontae said something about that, and it was somebody else. It was Lane Johnson, maybe. They said as soon as he got in the camp, you knew he was different.
Yeah. It was Deshaun Jackson. Deshaun Jackson. He said, as soon as Jalen Hurts, stepped on the field, when they did scout team stuff and all that, he was like, "Yo, this kid got something. He got an aura about him. He got his preparation and so on and so forth." So
the fact that Jalen threw the D-Jacks still, I always forget that.
Jalen's throwing the D-Jacks, Alshon Jeffrey. Yeah. Jalen has closer ties to that 2017, 2018 crew than people realize. Throwing the Alshon, and he has ties to that OG crew, like throwing the D-Jack. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So Jalen has always gotten the respect from the OGs, if you notice that.
Yeah.
He's always gotten the respect from Alshon, Deshaun, Lane, Kelsey.
Greg Ward, golly.
He was throwing to Greg Ward. Listen, people got to remember in 2020, when Jalen Hurts took over as the official starter in 2020, he was throwing to a rookie Devontae Smith, Greg Ward, Jalen Reagor, and Quez Watkins.
Oof.
Now remember, he did have Zach Ertz, but they traded him before the deadline to the Cardinals, and that's when Goddard took over. But he wasn't throwing to elite receivers at the time. I wouldn't have called Devontae Smith elite that year, but he was your best receiver, and he was a top 10 pick, and he showed why he was that talented. Don't get me wrong, but Devontae wasn't playing at the level that we saw him play at, like in 2022 and 2023, right?
He grew into it, but he had a good first developmental year.
Yeah, for sure. I think he broke the record for most most receiving yards for a rookie in the Eagles uniform.
Right, I remember that because at that point he had like 725 or something like that. But it's funny, man, when you find those at the skill positions, there is a literal moment where you, after a play, you have the realization like, I can do this. I can do this. Usually, whether it's your first preseason game, you going against at game speed in competition, and you like, yep, it's like that 100 yards hasn't changed. I can still get up out of here and can't nobody get with me. So Devontae Smith, all of them guys, man. And even like we talking about the O-line, like Cam Jurgens balled out last year. It's just like, bruh,
Mhm. Cam Jurgens has been a Pro Bowler from 2023
Yeah,
to
it's just he slipped
2025.
he slipped that
Three
back
consecutive
surgery
years.
in, and maybe that back surgery hasn't healed the
Well, I'm
way
sorry.
he
Landon
hoped.
Dickerson has been a Pro Bowler for 3 consecutive seasons. Cam Jurgens was a
Cam
Pro Bowler
Jurgens
for
was
the first time last year. Sorry.
correct. Yeah, yeah. So that because you remember last year, Cam Jurgens hurt his back. Landon Dickerson moved to center,
Mhm.
played a very quote unquote gritty game because he was hurting, and then he couldn't go nowhere. And then Cam Jurgens just shot the back up, and then he went back in and finished the game at center.
Mhm.
That was in the playoffs. So we have the grit, we have the toughness. That is not to be questioned. But at this particular time,
Mhm.
we got to be better at that because the toughness and the grit is not helping us. Because essentially it's next man up, and the starters, sometimes they say, hey, I'll take 75% of this person because that's better than anybody else. Well,
Right.
that's not the case right now.
Right.
We need at least 90% of our starters because they got to play like they are expected to play. That's the problem. That's not what's been happening. If Brett Toth could play like Brian Johnson did when
Mhm.
Lane Johnson came out, and they finally replaced him from Matt Pryor. What game was that? The second or third game?
That was the Rams game, right?
The Rams game.
Yeah.
If we could get play like that, solid play like that on the other side, we would be great. But that's
Yeah.
I don't know if that switch is going to be flipped. So we
Yeah.
are
I'm looking at
to the bye week.
I'm looking at the injury report, the Friday one. The active list didn't come out yet today, but it's gonna come out pretty soon. But I'm looking at the Friday injury report. Gurren Kakatera is not gonna play. He's still dealing with the oblique. Jalen Carter still dealing with the heel. He was limited in practice on Friday, so he's questionable. Zach Bond, thumb, full participant in practice on Friday. Jordan Davis was dealing with the shoulder, a full practice participant. Landon Dickerson was dealing with the ankle. He was a full participant, but they still have him as questionable. And
Yeah,
so he's probably going to be a game time decision. Just based on how he feels.
I think he's going to play. I think he's going to play. I just hope he can play well.
Yeah, and Quinyon Mitchell was dealing with the hamstring in that Giants game. He had got 10 days off from that, from then to now.
Yeah,
he was a full participant. So that's
I forget about the mini bye.
Yeah, that was when he went down in that game and they showed him on the sideline with the beanie. I said, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, it was like no.
But you said something though that I think was pretty key. They probably said to themselves, "Let's not even force him back out there. We got bigger fish to fry going forward." Excuse me, sorry about that.
I mean, the Eagles fully thought that they was going to win that game.
Of course they did. But the reality is you didn't. You got trounced. You got exposed to a degree. So look, man, it's a big game. It's a big game. You're going up against a Minnesota Vikings team, a 3-4 Minnesota Vikings team. I'm sorry, 3-2. Excuse me, a 3-2 Minnesota Vikings team. That if they win this game, they improve to 4-2. And if you lose this game, you fall to 4-3.
Yeah,
and
we should win this game.
And when you look at the division, Commanders are currently 3-3, and the Cowboys are 2-3. So they're going to face off today. If I had my preference, I would want the Cowboys to win the game today, so both teams stay in that 500 or below range.
Right.
Commanders can fall to 3-4. Dallas can improve to 3-3-1. Giants are 2-4. So if they win their game today, they'll improve to 3-4. If they lose, they fall to 2-5.
And we go back, or the Giants come here next week.
And I fully expect them to fall to 2-5. They got the Broncos this week on the road. So I fully expect them to fall to 2-5. We'll see how that goes, though. But I think this game is a must-win game for the Philadelphia Eagles. At this point, you got to watch your own play. You can't pay attention to what's going on to everybody else on game day. You got to take care of business. You got to win this game. It's going to be tough, though.
That should always be the case, though. As far as what happens in the locker room. That is always the case. Like, don't worry about what's going on outside. Control what you control in here. This is the only thing that matters. We should not lose this game against Minnesota, and we damn sure should not lose that game next week.
What? See, you say should. You say should, right? What leads you to say should? What is it that the Eagles are doing that the Minnesota Vikings either can't account for or are struggling with? What brings you? I don't know if that's confidence, but it sounds like
no. That's exactly what that is. Because if all things being equal, I still think we are a better team. We have warts, so do they. But because of the status that we have,
they're all right defensively, though. They're pretty good defensively.
So are we. We got one gap. Yeah. And with that one gap, we still 4-2. You know what I mean? And let's be real, the losses, the only game where I'm looking at the defense with the side eye is the Giants game. Other than that, defense has held up their end of the bargain.
And I agree with you
with the lack of the run defense.
Yeah.
The defenses came up and kept the people out of the end zone. It's all about if the offense was scoring points at a normal clip, not lighting it up, but at a normal clip.
Oh, they'd be 6-0.
Correct. So
they'd be 6-0.
I look at it from the standpoint of these are the guys, the Eagles. We in film session looking at these games like rubbing you like face palming, like, dude, how did this happen? Like, ain't no way they should have did that to us.
Yeah.
And that attitude still prevails because I still think on paper and on turf, we are still the better team. Right. But when it comes to execution, that's where we're lacking. That's where we're lacking. The execution of, Jalen, you got to put just a hair bit more air under that ball so AJ can get under it. You got to hold that block or at least get a piece of that edge so Saquon can get inside and get positive yards. Like, those are the things we have to put together as a team. It's not like we are, we got to get on the same page. We on the same page. We just not executing. So that's what they got to do. And when you watch the Vikings, they got their issues too. They got problems too. You saw what happened the last time Carson Wentz started. He had his issues too, running around, not staying in the pocket, all of that type of stuff. But regardless of all of that, the same things, the same rules still apply. If the defense gets a good rush, you got to get your hands on Carson Wentz and get him to the ground. That remains the same for any quarterback we play, for anybody. So you want a different result, but how you go about it is exactly the same. You have to execute when the defense get their hands on the ball, because Carson Wentz is going to throw a pick today. But the question is, are we going to, as a defense, going to catch it? Because how many have we dropped now?
Oh, yes. That's the question. Are they going to catch it? And is the offense going to capitalize off of it?
Opportunities, man. Opportunities. Who makes the most of those opportunities at the end of the game? You can count them up. How many picks did we drop? How many picks did they drop? How many blocks did they sustain that sprung their running back? Or, how many great catches, good or great catches did your receivers, make? Different things like that. So it's always the same. It's just the team that executes better on that particular day. They don't have to be the better team.
Execute in the key moments.
It's all about execution, bro. All about execution. And right now, I'm looking every play. I'm looking at our center and our left guard every play.
Yeah, because they're clearly not getting the same push right now, and I don't know if there's just a point in the season where guys just, I don't know. I've always been under the mindset in the football season, you don't get healthier.
Agreed.
You maybe you make the necessary adjustments to compensate, and you start winning because of that, but you don't get healthier. I don't think Cam Jurgens' health or back situation is going to get better. I don't think whatever Landon Dickerson's dealing with is just going to get better. It's just going to be about managing. But can they make adjustments? Can Jeff Stoutland and those guys make the necessary adjustments to where those shortcomings aren't necessarily liabilities on game day? That's the challenge for the Eagles right now. I don't think I think they've still yet to figure out how to use this offensive line when they're not just mauling guys. Can they technically become more dominant?
Correct. Because we
So-
still, like, even right now, looking at our defense, you already know what Minnesota's going to do. Get the ball in the hands of Justin Jefferson. And if Minnesota's been watching any type of tape, they're going to put Justin in motion, and Addison, they're going to place them at cornerback 2, whoever is playing there.
Mhm.
Doesn't even matter. And if we do decide to either play man or zone match with Quinyon Mitchell following around Justin Jefferson, that leaves us vulnerable somewhere else.
Mm.
So any way you slice it, we gambling. What that does is that puts the pressure on the defensive line. Jihad, wherever they playing you, young fella, or you got to play some ball today. Jalen Carter, you ain't been the same since Spitgate, bro.
Yeah, but Baldy ain't been pulling his punches on him lately either.
Nah, you got to come correct, man. It's like you done already shown the flash how good you are, but with that comes the expectation that I need you like that every week. You were the game plan last year. You were the best on the field in a lot of games as a second-year player last year.
Yeah.
But now you fallen off for some reason. Are you hurt or whatever the situation is? Your production is gone down, and we got to fix that because now we need you. We need you to be the double team again, so Jordan Davis can eat.
Yeah, because Jordan Davis has been the best D tackle on the team this year, and frankly, we haven't really, because we expected Jalen Carter to be Jalen Carter, and he hasn't been that in totality. I feel like we're not even really seeing how dominant Jordan Davis can be when Jalen Carter is doing his thing. You get what I'm saying? Like, I feel like we're being shortchanged on the Jordan Davis breakout season because Jalen Carter isn't doing his job in totality.
They became a duo last year, and a very effective duo. And now when one's missing,
because now Davis is playing way more snaps, so that duo can be more. It's supposed to be more effective this year. They should be able to affect the game for longer stretches. But now it looks like Jordan Davis is the one that's more in shape than Carter.
Yep.
And granted, Carter's been dealing with injuries, throughout the season, and obviously in week 1, but he hasn't been as effective this year.
And Carter's got that heel issue.
Right.
That's when you're talking about heels, ankles, hamstrings, hell, even obliques. Damn near anything, really. Anything. I guess I was trying to say anything lower body, but no, it's anything anywhere, man. It will feel good until it doesn't.
Right.
Because if you're dealing with a heel, if you're dealing with a hamstring, Quinyon Mitchell could play well for a quarter and a half, and then all of a sudden, when he rotates his hip to run with a receiver, his hamstring could say nope. Same thing with Jalen Carter. He could be getting pressure, everything could be good, and just one play that heel could say nope.
Yeah.
And to your point, when you playing in the middle of a season, it's hard to be healthy. You just trying to get through a game with nothing major happening, but everybody comes out of there with nicks, bruises, you limping, somebody stepped on your ankle, all of that type of stuff. Zach Bond, he's on the injury report for what was it, his thumb?
Yeah.
That's probably a nothing issue until he maybe drops a pick because he can't close his thumb, or like something simple like that. It only manifests itself at the worst possible time. And you're like, damn, man, if my thumb wasn't damn near broken, I probably would have caught that. Like situations like that happen all the time. Landon Dickerson, he wouldn't have got that sack if my ankle was good, but his ankle ain't right, man. So it's man, we're gonna be going through. We're gonna get to that bye week, man, with masking tape and bubble gum, bro.
Yeah, I think they could use a bye week for sure. I'm looking at Carson Wentz. Since him taking over, he's played 3 games so far for the Vikings. Carson Wentz, he's completing 69% of his passes. He's thrown for 759 yards. He's averaging over 7 yards an attempt. He's averaging 253 yards per game. He has 5 passing touchdowns on 2 interceptions. He's been sacked 12 times in 3 games with a 99.5 passer rating. So Carson Wentz has been solid for them. And when you look at the production of the offense, the reality is since Carson Wentz has taken over, their offense has been a little bit more productive. But I think part of it is really that Cincinnati game where they put up 48 points and the average is kind of helping them out a bit.
Yeah.
But because week 1 they put up 24 points. Week 2 they only put up 6 with JJ McCarthy. But then Carson Wentz takes over 48 with Cincinnati, 21 against Pittsburgh, 21 against Cleveland. So, the averages of that Cincinnati game is helping their case as far as how productive their offense was. But in back-to-back games, they've only been able to put up 21 points with Carson Wentz at the helm. But again, like I said to you before, like I normally be having stats and trends I want to lean on. The Eagles, which Eagles team are we getting today?
Correct.
Which Eagles team are we getting today? And, when I think about Saquon Barkley in particular, because we haven't really said his name, like specifically. We just kind of talked about the run game and offensive line. And I was just looking at some production from last year at this point in the season versus this year at this point in the season. And on the season in 2024, entering week 7, Barkley had 601 rushing yards on the 2024 season, entering week 7.
Right.
Now,
what's he got now? Like 300?
Right now, he has 325.
Yeah.
He has 325. And again, I'm going to make sure
50% decline.
Yeah, I want to make sure I'm correct with my math here, because I'm looking at it here. Yeah.
What's his longest run? Like 21 yards or something?
601 in 2024, 325 in 2025, entering week 7. His longest run this season or last year?
This season.
That's a good question. This season, Barkley's longest run has been 47 yards.
Okay.
47 yards. That's receiving. I lied. His longest run of the year has been 18 yards.
That's what I thought. What I say, 17?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
he hasn't.
You're right.
He hasn't broken that long one.
He hasn't broken a 20.
Right?
You're right. He hasn't broken Actually, his longest run came in the Giants game. That's what it was.
Right. The first 2 carries.
Yeah.
One was like 11 and the other one was like 17 yards.
Yeah, you're right. Let me ask you a question, though, because I bring up those stats for a reason. Like I said, entering week 7 in 2024, 601 rushing yards. In 2025, entering week 7, 325. Is it fair to surmise, because that is a 276 yard difference?
Yes.
Is it fair to say Barkley is one big game away from being on track? And when I say back on track, I'm not talking about getting 2,000 yards. I mean just one big game away from being
right,
close to
being one of the best backs in the league.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't think it's
productive. Well, one of the most productive, because I still think he's one of the best, but one of the most productive. I think that's the word I want to use.
Yes. The answer to your question is yes. The caveat is I don't think it's on Barkley at all. I think it's this all falls to the offensive line.
Yeah.
So in my opinion, the question is, when is that offensive line going to start blocking like we expect? When are they going to start playing up to, once again, execute? When they going to start doing that, executing to our expectations? When is our offensive line going to start winning in the trenches? That's where it's happening. I done talked ad nauseum about tight ends not getting the block and one block being one block away. Jordan Mailata said that 3-4 times this year already. And when you look at the film, he is exactly right. Everything gets blocked. One guy doesn't hold his block. One guy doesn't get his block. Somebody crosses somebody's face. And it's always that. And like I keep saying with Cam Jurgens and Landon Dickerson, anytime Jalen is in pistol formation and just doing a play action pass,
Mm-hmm.
and the defense is in the backfield, Jalen can barely get the fake off. So that's a huge problem. When they get in penetration and you can't even run the play action because they damn near getting a handoff. It at this point in the season, because again, in my opinion, Jalen, with his warts and with the criticism of him, which is fair,
Mm-hmm.
for the most part, Jalen has been throwing the ball okay the last 3 weeks. The problem is the offensive line. Period. Jalen is going to win some and lose some. He's going to miss some throws. That just happens with everybody. Because you know what? Eventually, Jalen's going to have another game where he only throws like 2 or 3 incomplete passes the whole game. He's going to have a game like that. Eventually, he's going to have a game where he drops 300 on somebody. He's going to have a game like that. But it's the offensive line has got to become consistent. And we have not had that at any point this year.
You're right. You're right. So, we'll see. We'll see. I think they have to win this game. I don't know how I don't know how else to really define it. It's going to be defense is going to have their hands full with Justin Jefferson. Jordan Addison isn't a slouch. T.J. Hockenson at tight end is really good, but I trust our linebackers to do their job on that. But what's the game plan? Or when I say game plan, I mean defensively, we know Keely Ringo cannot see the field again. we know he cannot see the field again.
But what happens if he does?
As of right now, it's looking like it's going to be a Quinyon Adoree Jackson game.
Here's what I say. Don't talk about what it should be. Deal with what it is.
Okay. Well, as of right now, Quinyon, Adoree Jackson, and Cooper DeJean are your corners, right? And I even went as far as to say, like, yo, if you got to put Cooper on the outside and put that rookie Matt McWilliams in the fucking slot, do what you got to do. I need to see somebody with some kind of fire, some kind of youth, some kind of something that's going to shake the table a bit, because I don't know if Adoree Jackson. I don't know if Adoree is going to be able to keep up with that young boy Jordan Addison, man. I don't know. It's going to be tough.
Look at James dropping bars. Was hearing all season that Jalen Hurts was him, so Jalen Hurts needs to play like him. I don't disagree with that.
Mm-hmm.
But what I will say, this is the caveat I will say with that. You are not wrong, but keep that same energy for everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
That, to me, that's where people fail. Keep that same energy when Justin Herbert throwing picks, and Josh Allen, the league MVP, barely getting by games or losing games. So, you are not wrong, but keep that same energy for everybody else too.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, this season, there's no one, in my humble opinion, who's completely separated themselves from the pack from a dominance perspective. There's no one I'm looking at in this league who
still today, with everything that has happened this year for the Philadelphia Eagles, there is no reason why we can't get it together, take over the playoffs, and get back to the Super Bowl. Because to your point, I don't see any team. There is no team in this league right now. The parity is at an all-time high. There is no team right now who is dominant, in my opinion. It ain't the Chiefs. It ain't us. It ain't the Chargers. It ain't the Commanders. It ain't the Raiders. It ain't the Broncos. You can't name a team that's just like, oh my God, they are just hands down above everybody else.
Yeah, real
Not
quick
right
though,
now.
I want to make a correction, by the way. My math was drastically off. So let me just correct something really, really quickly. I mentioned earlier by this point in the season in 2024, and I know some of you guys who are probably behind in the stream, you're probably going to notice the error. I'm correcting it now. I mentioned the gap in Saquon Barkley's production entering week 7 from 2024 to 2025. Right? I'm going to make sure I clear this up because my math was off. I was looking at something else. Entering week 7, Barkley actually had 482 rushing yards on the season in 2024.
Okay.
He had 482 rushing yards entering week 7.
Okay.
And in 2025, entering week 7, he has 325. So there's actually only a 157-yard difference in production, not 276 yards. 157 yard difference. So in me fixing that mathematical error by myself, does your confidence level in Barkley increase from your initial thought process? Again, when I asked you, is he one great game away from being back to his normal self from a production standpoint? Because again, my math was off. So I just want to make sure I clear that up for everybody who's going to lose their minds.
Yeah, I mean, the same rules still apply. He can still break one. He's still, they still stacking the box and daring us to win in the air. And we've won some of those battles, but everything else is just not popping. And the mistakes and shooting ourselves in the foot, penalties, things of that nature just has caught up with us. And that's the stuff that we haven't avoided when we did avoid it last year, or we were good enough to overcome it.
Yeah.
So
I think if the Eagles run the ball well today, they win the game.
Regardless of what his stats were last year, at this point, in my opinion, it's irrelevant because it's all got to work together. I don't see, nor have I ever thought of Saquon Barkley as a Barry Sanders type, because Barry Sanders would do some stuff with next to nothing in front of him.
Yeah.
He might get something like that off once in a while, but he hasn't done it this year. He hasn't bounced around or spun out and just ran away from people like he did last year. He just hasn't had the opportunity. That's my biggest criticism with Kevin Patullo. Why do you keep running him tackle to tackle when that's where we're struggling? Get his ass outside. Pitch him the ball outside. Stretch the defense out to create some zone runs where he can pick and choose where he wants to go.
Yes.
And then from that, you play action off of that. But to do that successfully, you got to be either in pistol or you got to be under center. And they won't do that. Let's see this week. I don't know if you saw that. Did you see the tape? Acho said it. Somebody said it first. I think it may have been Baldy that said it, but now everybody just piggybacks off of what one person said. And I think Acho did his little thing and was like, they only run the ball when they're in pistol or when they're in the 3-by-1 set.
Yep.
So, and of course, you go on social media, everybody is saying the same thing. I'm like, yeah, you just heard what Acho said and you just regurgitate it. You didn't do no film study. I get it.
Yeah.
But let's see this week if that changes. Because if he's seeing it from the broadcast booth or just sitting at home watching TV, your opponent is seeing it when they're in film session.
Absolutely.
So if that happens this week, if we still see the exact same thing, pistol, 3-by-1, we running the ball, then the whole aspect of predictability and they know what's coming and he's not ready to be a NFL offensive coordinator, there's no rebuttal anymore.
Of course, because I mean, last season it wasn't like the Eagles weren't doing anything complex last year, but they were just more dominant physically than other teams.
Correct.
But this year, that lack of creativity coupled with the poor execution and dominance, it's been a mess.
Yeah, bro, be yapping, dude.
It's been a mess.
Let's get to the point where I'm like, all right, do you have to yell the whole time? Him and Cam Newton. Yeah, Cam Newton. It's like, bro,
Cam just be channeling his
turn it down, man.
Cam just be channeling his inner preacher. You know, his dad is a pastor, I think, or something like that. Whatever it may be.
Cam be sounding like he at the family cookout playing dominoes, man.
Nonetheless, though, let's get to some predictions.
Yep.
For this game. We're running short on time anyway. Bold prediction for this game, sir. Give me one for offense and one for defense.
Bold prediction. Huh. The
But if I can get-
defense. The
if I can get-
defense holds Justin Jefferson
What?
to
Where you going with this?
about 50 yards.
Whoa. He can get that in one play the way
They're not going to stop him, but they are going to contain him.
50 yards sounds like a stop to me. But to your point though, that's
about as bold as I can get.
yeah, that is best bold as hell. What's your offensive prediction?
Saquon plus 100.
Hmm.
Because that'll tell me, well, not necessarily, but it's either one. If Saquon can get 100 plus, one or two things that will have happened. Either A, he does run outside and you find some lanes and you make some things happen, and he does turn into that playmaker that we had last year.
Mhm.
Or number two, and more importantly, the offensive line was solid. I'm hoping for the latter. I'm hoping that the offensive line is solid and he just finds his lanes. Yes, he's going to shake some people and he's going to do Saquon Barkley things, but for the most part, the offensive line is going to play a solid game. So I want Saquon 100 plus.
Yeah. For me, I'll start with offense. My bold prediction for this game was I couldn't even give you a number. I was just going to say Saquon Barkley has his best game of the season.
Fair enough.
I'm just rolling with that.
I can live with that.
My bold prediction for the offense, Saquon Barkley has his best game of the season. And I hate that that's a bold prediction, but it is what it is. He's going to have his best game of the season today. Bold prediction defensively, I'll say the Philadelphia Eagles defense picks off Carson Wentz twice.
Ooh, I like it. I like it.
One of them coming in the fourth quarter.
Carson trying to press,
Mhm.
trying to make things happen. Yep, I can see that.
Yeah. All right. Score prediction.
Oh God. I'm gonna say, damn. I'm gonna say 24-17.
24-17.
Yeah.
That's reasonable. I'll probably go. I'll probably say 27-23 Eagles.
Okay.
27-23 Eagles. You said 24-17.
Yeah, I don't want it that close.
Yeah, well,
25. How the hell you get 25, bro?
that's a weird score. There's got to be a safety or a block extra point return in there somewhere.
Yeah,
If that's what you're talking
like
about.
that.
But I'm going 27-24 Birds. You going 24-17.
Let's hit a couple of these super chats real quick.
Yeah, let's do that.
Linda says, not predicting the game today. I am sure that the Eagles plan. He will have to see. You and a lot of others, Linda. I ain't mad at that either.
Right.
Not mad at that. Thank you for the $4.99 super chat. Michael McLean agrees with both of us. Big rushing day today. Go Birds. So,
hopefully.
Mike, I hope you are correct. I hope our offensive line is up to snuff today. Dub Barbarian, Anthony Jett, 28-17 Birds, Jalen 4 total TDs and a Coop pick. All right, I like that. I like the way you think. I ain't mad at that at all. At all. Thank y'all for the super chats.
Yep. Real quick. Let's just do this. Let's just get through these predictions real quick. We're just gonna run through them. For the what is it? Week 7. Let's make our picks so they're on record. We're just gonna go rapid fire here.
Gotcha.
So, Thursday was Steelers at Bengals. I had the Steelers winning that game.
I got that wrong too.
I got that wrong as well. Joe Flacco surprised me. Anyway,
shame on me for not supporting my hometown.
Listen,
shame
they ain't give you much. They ain't really gave you much.
Who day all day.
Rams at Jags. I had the Rams winning this game. Looks like that's the case so far. We'll see where the game goes.
They're playing overseas.
Yeah, they're playing in London, I think. Rams and Jags. But I had the Rams winning this game. So far, so good. Saints at Bears. I got the Bears winning that game. What about you?
Bears game. I got the Bears winning as well.
Okay. Dolphins at Browns. I got the Dolphins winning.
Same.
Patriots at Titans. I got the Pats winning.
Same.
Raiders at Chiefs. I got the Chiefs winning that game.
Yep.
Eagles at Vikings. We just discussed that. We got the Eagles winning. Panthers at Jets. I think the Panthers beat the Jets.
Correct.
Giants
Same.
at Broncos. I think the Broncos beat the Giants.
Same.
Colts at Chargers. I think the Colts beat them on the road.
Colts at Chargers. I got the Chargers winning this.
Okay, good. We finally veer off from each other. I got Colts. You got Chargers in that game.
I got the Chargers winning at home.
Commanders at Cowboys. Even though I think the Cowboys, even though I would like the Cowboys to win this game and keep the Commanders below 500, I think the Commanders win this game. I think Cowboys. I think the Cowboys are going to struggle stopping Jaden Daniels on the ground. They can't stop the run.
Cowboys ain't got no defense, but they at home.
That is true too.
I'm gonna get the Cowboys at home.
Okay, I'm rolling with the Commanders in that game. Packers at Cardinals. I'm rolling with the Packers. They don't have. Is Kyler Murray still out?
I don't think it matters.
Yeah, that's true. Falcons at 49ers. I got the Falcons in this game.
Falcons.
Bucks at Lions. I'm rolling with the Lions. I think they get. I think they get their first win against a good team this year.
Yeah, I agree. Lions are going to take this, especially after everything that just happened to them.
Yeah,
they pissed.
Yeah,
they're pissed off.
And Texans at Seahawks. I struggled with this one, but I'm rolling with the Seahawks in this game.
I'm going Texans.
I think Seahawks have been more consistent. Yeah, I'm just gonna roll with the Seahawks in this game. And the Bills and the Ravens are on a bye week this week, so no Bills or Ravens games this week. So we'll see how this thing goes, man.
Yeah, man.
You know, I need to go on a run. I need to go on a run. All right, you guys, that's the show.
Yes,
We appreciate you guys being here. You know, normally these shows go a little longer, but we both have hard outs. So make sure you guys smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. Go subscribe to Pro Fan Talk. Go subscribe to Chalk It Up Sports. Make sure you guys hit the hype button, especially if you're watching on mobile. The hype button is the new currency. It's the new dollar bill.
Yes, sir.
You know, in the YouTube space. So make sure you guys hit that hype button, hit the like button. Make sure your notification bell is turned on whenever we go live. We appreciate the support as always, you guys. Again, Coach Marcus, your prediction for this game, Eagles-Vikings, is what again?
What I say, 24-17?
24-17 for you. I'm going 27-24 Eagles. I think we both believe Saquon has his best game of the year.
Yep. And
I believe Carson throws 2 interceptions in this game. And you believe that the Eagles hold Justin Jefferson to under, what was that?
Under 50.
All right. There you have it, you guys. Those are our score predictions, and those are our bold predictions. He's Marcus Thomas. I'm Tony DeShields II. This has been the Bald Eagles Podcast.
Yes, sir.
And as always, it's Fly Eagles Fly.
Go Birds. Addendum, I will not be doing a live stream today, but we will be doing probably a post-game wrap-up. So, and also I might have some time to do like a halftime report. So check the notifications. If you see something, jump in. It won't be very long, and then we'll recap after the game.
Sounds good.
All right, man. Go Birds.
In the city of Philly, where the birds take flight, Eagle swag on the rise each and every night. Tone and Marcus got the scoop ready to ignite. From the lanes of South Street to the Broad Street lights, dashing like a running back, hitting every play. Fly guys in the zone, never led astray. Talking touchdowns, talking game day. Huddle around the mic, hear what they gotta say. Fly like an eagle soaring in the sky. Tone and Marcus always standing by, bringing the heat, call it do or die. Philly squad, hear the battle cry. Fly like an eagle soaring in the sky. Tone and Marcus always standing